All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to be talking about how me and my partner basically scaled a Skool community from $0. It was brand new. We launched it in about 6 weeks from scratch, and how we collected $62,000 cash collected in their first week. As you can see right here on the screen, we did $62,308 in the first week's payout. And on an ongoing level, we are now at 33.5K per month in MRR for this client since October. At the time of me filming this, it's March 14th. This is a client who we actually won Skool games with. I'm not too sure if you can see my camera. The trophy is in the back, but this is the client that we won Skool games with in Q4 of 2025. All right, now how did we actually do this? How can you do this for yourself? By literally replicating exactly what we did. So we're gonna be talking about what we have basically called the Skool Games event launch funnel, okay? So to basically walk through everything for you guys, if you are starting from scratch, like if you are watching this right now, you don't have a Skool community, I'm gonna walk through exactly what you need to do to set up your Skool community, to set up your courses, and make it very, very easy for you to set up in the next 4 to 6 weeks. It's super simple. A lot of people overcomplicate it. A lot of people overwhelm themselves because they feel like it's overwhelming to create content, to make the courses and all this stuff, but it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And if you are watching this and you have a Skool community, this is even more exciting because you can basically just jump into the next step, which we're gonna get into, which is the pre-marketing side, but more on that later on, okay? For right now, if you do not run a Skool community, go and start one. It's super simple, and start focusing on what you are passionate about. It's the best business model in the world, okay? To set up your Skool setup, basically all you need to do is focus on the branding. You need to get the courses done, the calendar done, and the About Us page, okay? So for branding, you can use Canva. For your courses, you can use a combination of Loom and Notion. Loom is a platform that we like to use to basically screen record your screen. It opens up a little bubble on your screen as well too that'll show your face, and it allows you to record your screen, speak to the camera, and it's super simple. There's like no editing required either. It's super, super easy. And then basically to create your course content, you just use Notion, right? You can use Notion. You can even use Word documents as well too. But the biggest thing is you want to add value with your courses. It doesn't need to be super high production value. It just needs to get the point across, and it needs to add value to your end user, okay? So just keep it as simple as possible and recognize that your Skool community is going to evolve as you start to grow the Skool community, and as you get, more experienced with the members in it, with the value that you're delivering, everything, okay? For your calendar section, you're gonna use Zoom or Google, super straightforward. And then for the About Us page, obviously you can speak to the value of what it is that you are training on in your community, but go ahead and use Claude AI. Claude is an amazing tool. So I would just go into Word document or into Notion, type up an About Us page, throw it into Claude, and tell it to basically just revise it in a way that sounds a lot better, so that it fits your About Us page, right? Something like that. Now, the Skool setup side will probably take 4 to 6 weeks, depending on if you have content pre-made or not. If you don't have content and you're starting from scratch, I would just try to get your course done in like 2 weeks. Just try to blast out 5 different videos a day, 5 different modules a day, so you can get your course over and done with, right? But make sure it's obviously good quality, because good quality content is the actual engine of what's gonna make this thing work. Now, once you have your Skool community all set up, for those of you who are watching this who have a Skool community, the next step of this is going to be your pre-marketing. A part of the Skool event launch, you have to understand, this event launch is something exciting. This is something that your audience has never seen before. So you need to be able to build up a ton of hype around it, okay? So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna take your active email list and you're gonna be able to warm it up. Okay. Now, if you have an active email list, this is a super easy thing. All you need to do is basically just announce to them that you are dropping this new event. You are announcing this big new cool thing that you are launching on YouTube. All of our event launches that we've done for every single one of our clients, this one specifically, just this example that I used was just one of them, but we've done an event launch for every single one of our clients on YouTube, and it performs very, very successfully. So the email warm-up is super important. You need to announce to your social media, to your YouTube, to your email audience, you need to announce to them that you are dropping this big event. Now, the big event needs to be something that has a lot of hype to it, okay? So make sure that you're consistently posting and announcing it and building up hype. Now, in the pre-marketing phase, a big and important part about this is you need to be able to grow your email list as well too. The easiest way to do this, and this is what we consistently do with all of our clients, it doesn't matter how big their email list was. I believe for this client, it was around 6,000 people, and we actually grew it to above 20,000 people in the 6-week process from us like building his Skool community to then in the back end, like being able to market to his audience to actually grow his email list. So it can happen pretty fast depending on your audience, obviously. But the best way to grow your email list is by basically just having like some sort of free lead magnet. And then, in exchange for their name, email, phone number, you give them something for free. And I highly recommend the free thing that you give them is something that people would legitimately pay you like $20 for, or even $100 for, right? If you give them something really, really good, it's going to create a first-class experience for them through and through, and they're going to be super excited about that. All right, so what you basically want to do is you're announcing something big, right? Something big is coming. You're going to basically use that verbiage in your YouTube announcements, in your social media announcements, in your email warm-ups, and you're just going to continuously do this in the time that you are doing your pre-marketing, okay? So again, if you're building your Skool community right now, you can still be engaged in pre-marketing. If you already have a Skool community, you just need to focus on the pre-marketing side, and it's going to be super simple for you to do, right? Because basically you're managing your existing community, and in the back end, you're pre-marketing to your audience who isn't in your Skool community, announcing that something is big. The goal during this phase is to grow your email list and build hype. Super, super simple. Now, the next thing is the actual event launch. So what is the event launch, and why does this just work literally every single time, okay? Basically, it is a YouTube event. And the way that we like to structure this, it is a 1 or 2 episode event that entertains and educates your viewer. Now, the YouTube event has a very specific purpose. You need to basically create a problem, deepen that problem, and frame your product as the solution. So ask yourself right now, whatever value your Skool community teaches and provides to your end user, what solution does that provide to their problem, right? The value that you provide, it must solve some sort of problem for your end user. So you just need to ask yourself how you can basically focus on that problem and how you can deepen that problem by basically diving into like, if you don't fix this, this is going to be your end result. This is how your life is just going to be, right? If you, like a great example of this, right, is in the money industry, in the money niche. Like if you're teaching people how to become better with paid advertising, let's just say. The problem is people suck at running ads. And if you continue to suck at running ads, you're just going to burn money on ads and burn your budget, and you're not going to get any results, right? And you're just going to constantly be in this endless loop of just wasting money on ads and not doing it successfully. Now, the solution would be your product, which is teaching people how to run ads properly, right? So that's the big thing, is this event is 1 or 2 episodes. I always encourage, and for every single one of our clients, we've always done a 2-episode event launch, but I always encourage that you do 2 episodes, and the first episode needs to basically only talk about the problem and deepen the problem, and then just remind people, like at the end of each time you deepen that problem, that there is a solution, right? But then always revert back to the problem, a new problem, and then deepening that problem. Okay, you're not actually diving into any sort of solution in the first episode. In the second episode, that's where you can actually go and dive into the solution. So at the beginning of that second episode, you're basically going to revisit all those problems that you identified and just, again, revisit like what the end result is going to be if people continue to run into these problems. And then that's when you can dive into the solution. Now, the solution isn't like right away, my Skool community is the solution. You have to provide the solution, which is the value that your Skool community provides. So going back to that example, the solution to running better ads, because people suck at running ads to grow their Skool communities, is to follow this procedure, right? Once you follow this procedure, you're going to see better results in your paid advertising to grow your Skool community. Inside of my Skool community, this is what we walk through. We walk through A to Z, how to set up your ads, do X, Y, Z, all of that stuff, right? So you're basically nailing down the value and the solution, and then you're reverting it to how your Skool community dives into solving that problem and makes it really easy for people to follow, for them to actually see results, right? So that is basically the event launch funnel and the event launch strategy. Now, with the YouTube event, you're going to go live on with the episode 1. You're going to have it scheduled. You're going to set it as a premiere. And then that's when you're going to start blasting out emails like every single day, 3 days before leading into that event. You're going to be making people aware of the date of that event. You're going to give them the timestamp, everything. The moment that first episode goes live, you're going to send them the email with the direct URL link to that YouTube event on the first episode. And then after the YouTube event is done, you're going to share a little bit of a recap, send it again to people. And then when that second episode goes live, same thing. You're going to send the URL to that second YouTube event, announce that there's going to be a big reveal or a big thing that you are releasing in that second episode. And then after that second episode goes live, that's when you can send out the email saying, hey, you can join the Skool community here. As you know, we just launched this community from the second episode of this big event. You can join a Skool community here, right? And then that's basically it. And then right after you post that second episode, you're going to want to go live on YouTube. Now, for all of our clients, they only went live like once per day for like 2 to 3 days. You can choose to go live a little bit more if you really want to. But what we, at least from what we saw, is if you go live right after your event, it might actually hold people back from joining, right? You kind of want to leave them like with nothing else, so that like their next step is to literally just join the Skool community. So maybe don't go live for like a handful of hours that first day, but you could go live like maybe like 5-6 hours after you post that event, right? So if you post that second episode at 12 p.m., go live at like 6:30, right? You can also choose to just not go live that first day and go live the second day. It's totally up to you, right? There's no right or wrong way to do it. So hopefully that makes sense. That is basically the event launch. It's super simple. I will say, like, it does take a little bit of time to put together because the pre-marketing is the biggest part of it. And then obviously you have to actually, build out the event launch as well too. It takes a little bit of time, but realistically like 4 to 6 weeks is super, super reasonable. Okay. Now the final step is going to be post-marketing. Okay. Now your post-marketing is going to be extremely important, because what you will tend to notice is like in the first 24 to 72 hours, you get a tremendous amount of people joining your Skool community, but it starts to taper off. So the post-marketing makes sure that you can basically just capture as many people in the audience as possible, so that, after that 72 hours is completed, people are still joining consistently, right? So basically what you want to do is you want to have a 30-day email sequence. This is going to be really, really important. A 30-day email sequence is going to be basically like sending an email every single day for 30 days. Like that is literally it. If people unsubscribe from you, don't worry. They're never going to become customers anyways. So who cares, right? We are not worried about people unsubscribing. We are worried about getting people into your Skool community. And then, as I mentioned in the event launch, you're going to want to go live two days after the YouTube event. Okay. Again, go live 2 times after your YouTube event. So it's totally up to you. Like we've tested like only one way of doing this, where like you go live for maybe like 2 or 3 days. But like if you want to go live, for a full week straight, have at her. You know what I mean? But yeah, that is basically it for post-marketing. As long as you are getting people into your email list, you are remarketing to them through email, it's going to consistently drive people to your Skool community. I can guarantee it. And then you won't see such a harsh drop off after 72 hours if you're consistently marketing them through email. Okay. Now, this is going to allow you to maximize on the traffic that you've generated to your event. And I did not add this, but I will right now. But basically what you could also do is you could actually run ads to this event as well too if you wanted, and I will add this here just in case you guys basically want to just like screenshot this. But you could, if you do have the budget, like let's say you are running a pretty successful community right now. Like if you're running a community that does like honestly over 5K a month in MRR, I would heavily encourage you to invest into retargeting ads, whether it's on Meta or whether it's on YouTube. But basically you could run those retargeting ads and it would actually do you a lot of good, because then you could retarget every single person that tuned into those specific 2 episodes. And because we know that not 100% of people are going to convert from those episodes, you are maximizing on your ability to convert more people and just get them over the line, so that, if they're on the fence, they're excited about it, but like something's holding them back. If they see you a couple more times, it's going to push them over the line, right? It's going to get them off the fence. So again, I would say if you do this, just make sure you're probably doing like above 5K MRR. Again, totally up to you. Like if you're doing maybe like even 2K in MRR and you're just totally okay with reinvesting the entire profit of your community back into retargeting ads, again, you can totally do that. I'm a believer in making sure that you are profitable day one, and I want you to be profitable with your Skool community. So I would say be above 5K in MRR, put like $1,000 back into retargeting ads, and you should be good. Okay. If you're doing over 10K a month in MRR, 20K, 30K, whatever it is, like toss a pretty good size budget at your retargeting. Again, it depends on how many people actually viewed your videos. You could also even do something where you retarget your entire audience, just so you have a good audience size to actually retarget to, right? It's totally up to you, and it all depends on how big that audience size really is, based off of your event launch, based off of your social media following, everything, right? So just take that into consideration. So guys, that is basically the Skool event launch. We have done this now 4 times. For 3 of our clients, we scaled them. Well, for 2 of our clients in the first month, we scaled them above 30K a month in MRR. For one of our clients, we scaled them above 10K. I think we got them to about 11. And then for a 4th client, we got them to $7,500 per month in MRR, and they're currently number 3 in Skool games at the time of me recording this as well too. I'm not going to share their name, but we should be winning Skool games for Q1 of 2026 for them, but more on that. But yeah, guys, this is literally the entire process. So if you follow this to a T, I can guarantee you will see really good results from the growth of your Skool community. And all you have to do is just follow the pre-marketing, event launch, and post-marketing strategy, okay? I'm gonna save this as a PDF for you guys to basically just copy this to a T, so it's super easy for you. And then if you guys have any questions, just throw your questions in the comment section here on YouTube, and I will do my best to get to every single one of them, okay? But again, like if you have a good size social media following, this client right here had around 720,000 when we started working with him on YouTube. His Facebook audience wasn't super engaged. Like he has a decent size on it, but it just wasn't super engaged. So we just solely focused on YouTube. And from that, we scaled it pretty big. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Enough of my rambling. So if you guys like this video, if it added a lot of value to you guys and it taught you something, shoot it a like. I'd really appreciate the support. All the Skool content is going to be on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be trying to post weekly for you guys just to share more content on how you can grow your Skool community. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.